¿A dónde está papi? 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 ¿A dónde está papi?
Welcome to the Thursday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Thursday. Welcome, Derry Bennett. Trans and drag lives always matter. True. Welcome, everybody. Let me get my stuff set up. It is almost the weekend, folks. Definitely feels like a long week for sure. Maple Leaf Dragon with a tier 1 sub for 15 months. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We have some ADT today. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Sorry that I was not able to stream yesterday or the day before. Getting some stuff done to the Jeep. Hey. Let's finish setting up. Setting up what, Windows? What are you trying to tell me? Anyways. I had to get some stuff for the, set up for the Jeep. But yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that, folks. Ah. This is a cool little emote. All right, folks, we have quite grooving to the tunes, exactly. It does look like it's almost synced, the music itself. We have a few things to go through, including excuse me, including Prager Poo. So I guess I better brace myself for this one. The PragerU video is really bad. It's bad. Maybe we should do that one first, or maybe just go through some quick headlines. All right, folks. Maybe we should start with this story. Are there any good PragerU videos? No, they aren't. They're not. There isn't. There you go. That's the right word. There isn't. There isn't. All right. As you all probably have heard, Fox News had settled with Dominion for $787 million. And they get to benefit from it, I guess. Fox News appears to be set to benefit from a tax write-off from this payout to Dominion. So, cool. Nice meme. So, accountability is like zero in this case. Nothing. However, this was one of the, if not the biggest media settlements, I think. This was, again, to remind folks that this was all because of the bullshit Fox News was allowing to be spread on its network, to continue to be spread on its network. None of the hosts have been have suffered any consequences or accountability. And as a result of that, Fox News has had to pay out $787 million, which now apparently will benefit from a tax write-off. Cool. Nice. Yes, exactly. Exactly, Maple. So, to add to that, Smartmatic lawsuit is still in play, and according to Smartmatic so far, they are very adamant about going seeing this one through. So they are very, I guess, confident. A quarter of the piggy bank. Yeah, there you go. Welcome, Michael Hassler. So they're more adamant about going for the jugular. We will see. But yeah, even despite being this dishonest, Fox News will benefit from this in a way. Fox Corporation executive Brian Nick confirmed to Lever that the historic settlement is tax deductible, but would not reveal the amount that the network will be able to write off. However, the revelation means that the landmark payout, the largest in history, U.S. history for a libel case, might not harm Fox News' profit as much as expected. The settlement was reached on Tuesday, moments before opening arguments were set to go underway, and in the defamation trial, rescuing Rupert Murdoch, Tucker Carlson, and other big names from being called to testify over the 2020 election lies. I mean, like, that is where the gold was right there. That's where the gold was. Like, to have somebody like Tucker Carlson be in the stand under oath, being asked, like, hey, bro, in your segments, you aired this, but privately, like, you knew that this was all bullshit. Like, what was that about? That's what I wanted to see. Is Trump as bad of a president as Biden? No, I don't think so. No, hold on. Other way around. Is Trump as bad of a president as Biden? No, he's worse. He was worse. He was, like, objectively worse. Is Trump as bad of a president as Biden? No, he was worse. That's my answer. Echo Wrestle Dragon, how's it going? Will it be aired, though? That's a good question. I hope so. Dominion has still their other suits against Newsmax, OAN, Lindell, and Powell. Oh yeah, they're gonna go around and collect a whole bunch of like settlement payments. Damn. That you're right, Maple. You're right. Oh my god, I'm so tired. We'll like Echo Wrestle Dragon said, will the Smartmatic trial be aired? Because that would be nice. Oh, so no. Okay, we'll see. Yeah, I hope so, because like that's the kind of stuff that we want to see. Fox quote unquote news should have to take out the name news. True. Or like after every before every segment, they need to like put a big disclaimer that like they aren't actually like news. Ugh. I think all news is just as bad. Not really. All have their own agenda. No, that's pretty short-sighted. This is like this is like fifth grader logic. This is like fifth grader logic. Like, yeah, no shit. Like sometimes like certain news outlets get stuff like really bad, really wrong, or like skew it in a certain way, but like to outright lie the way Fox News did to the point where they're actually facing a defamation lawsuit. I mean, come on. There's just like no comparison. Can you imagine if like CNN had to deal with this crap? No. They don't. So no, not every news is the same. Sure, you can say that news outlets are biased, and you can attempt to, you know, parse out the biases and understand that certain stories are skewed a certain way. But the fact of the matter remains, how many news outlets have been sued like Fox News, and how many times have they had to defend this? Because this is not the first time Fox News has been in court, okay, for bullshit. Anyways. Nice try, though. It's a bit short-sighted. The story includes two statements. Sorry. On Wednesday, Fox News featured the deal in its own coverage, but only in a short 256-word story that made no mention of why the company was sued or how much it cost the network to make the trial go away. It takes a hell of a lot of to prove defamation against a so-called news outlet, and they did it. Oh, yeah. Defamation lawsuits are already, like, hard as it is, and the fact that, like, Fox News decided to settle before going into court means, like, they were pretty much, like, checkmated. They're like, GG, we're just gonna cash out right now before this starts and we're really screwed. $787 million versus 1.6 billion. I mean, they cut their losses. Let's put it that way. The story includes two statements, one from a Fox News spokesperson attributed to the network that acknowledges the court's findings, claims about Dominions to be false, and another from the judge who presided over the case. This is the price of bullshit, folks, and it's not over. It's not over. The Smartmatic lawsuit also has to take place, and I don't believe they are at this time intending on settling. We'll definitely be looking at the outcomes of these lawsuits, because I think it's important to point out like the consequences, and I think that accountability is important. Dominion shouldn't have settled. I mean, ideally, we would have liked to see it go to trial. Ideally, we would have liked to see Tucker Carlson squirm, you know, or hear about it anyway, since there was going to be no media in the courtroom. At the very least, we would have enjoyed reading about Tucker Carlson squirming under oath. But yeah, it didn't happen. Who knows? Maybe in the Smartmatic lawsuit, we'll see it, or we'll hear about it. But who knows? Fox News themselves never said the amount to their viewers, though, and that was entirely the point, to keep their mushrooms in the dark and keep feeding them shit. Exactly. I mean, like, how pathetic do you have to be to be so to be a Fox News viewer? I mean, like, how does it feel to be used and to be like publicly acknowledged as like, yeah, dude, you're just, you're just not very smart, and you keep making us incredibly rich by feeding you bullshit. We know we're feeding you bullshit. You keep asking for bullshit, so we keep giving it to you, and all you do is just help us keep, getting richer. Good memes. They don't know how dumb they are. I mean, true. That's a good point. The being used part is not a bug. It's a feature they want to be lied to so that they can feel good about themselves. Thoughts on trans competing in sports? Is it fair? I mean, like, 0.001% of the population. I don't know, dude. You point out to me the problems, okay? Hey, Cosmic Seeking, happy Thursday indeed. It's almost the weekend. All right, folks, we got to do Prager Poo. Okay? Brace yourselves, folks. You've been warned. Okay? You've been warned. You've been warned.
The world needs more fossil fuels.
Wrong.
More oil.
No. Objectively incorrect. Alio with the 12 biddies. How's it going? Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Coal and natural gas.
No.
Not less. Does that sound crazy?
Yes. Yes. Yes, it does. Given the current climate crisis, and given all the data that's even the own fossil fuel companies provided, their own studies. Yeah, it does sound crazy, because it is. Preparing for decontamination shower after the video. I mean, I did warn you.
It's actually not. Not if you employ
it is.
One common sense principle. It's the same principle you use when you decide whether to take a prescription drug.
But this isn't a prescription drug. Do you know why this is not analogous? Can we Can we tell why this is not analogous? Well, first of all, when you take a prescription drug, normally it's true. You weigh the pros and cons, because that's where he's going. The common sense principle that he's going to attempt to make a false equivalency for is the pros and cons of taking it. Normally, these pros and cons are weighed by professionals, right? Like, fucking doctors. And second of all, the consequences are only to yourself. You are the only one. You are the only one that are going to suffer these consequences. Your doctor, the professional, is the one that is going to present these to you. And if you choose to take this medication, then the consequences that happen will be to you and you yourself. The consequences of fossil fuels. You beat me to the answer? Yeah. Sorry, sometimes, the chat is delayed. Just to let you know, the chat always has a delay, so I'm always going to be faster, if that makes sense. Yeah. Second part to that answer is fossil fuels the emissions of fossil fuels, the carbon dioxide, the air pollution that come from it, all the water pollution, all that doesn't affect just one person. It affects a lot of people. And we know this because we've done studies on this. Stop pausing. Hey, listen. I will do whatever the fuck I want on my stream, okay? Stop pausing. Dude, I will leave this entire video paused for the remaining 2 hours of the stream if I wanted to. So, like, if you want to come here and tell me how to run my stream, I suggest that you make your own. How about that? Is that a good idea? Cool. Can we refer to these chuds as accidental anarchists committed to doing society harm for cheap ideological thrills? Hold on. No. Anarchist is a completely different theory. No. Chuds are chuds, okay? This is not a democratic channel. This is an autocracy. Correct. No, this isn't even an autocracy. This is a monarchy, okay? This is a monarchy. This is a monarchy where I am king, okay? We just championed democracy, true. The PragerU animations drive me crazy. They're so simple to subliminally imply what they're spouting is simple truths. Yep, that's the point of this whole thing. It's a well-orchestrated and effective propaganda machine. That's what this really is. It's an incredibly effective and well-done propaganda machine. Because, like, if you see the comments, they're like, wow, this sounds reasonable. This guy is reasonable. This is a benevolent dictatorship, okay? Oh, fuck off. Oh, thank God. PosadaBot is amazing. Cool. What do you propose? Go back to riding horses? Wow, dude. Wow. Amazing response. Amazing response. As if we don't have already technology that we can use right now. The lack of imagination from these people is incredible to me. Anywho, it is a very effective propaganda machine because if you look at the comments, you nailed it. Ha. The Michael Fraudman of this world, my friend Alex, a voice of reason in a world of, they can't even spell, in a world of fear-mongering dystopia. Nice presentation, well organized. But as these people can't spell. As one meme puts it, you are the carbon they want to reduce. Thanks for posting this video. Nice. Alex just did more good with that one presentation than doomsayers will achieve in their lifetimes. Brilliantly and simply explained, this should be shown to everyone under 30 to wake them up to reality. Holy shit. Oh man. By the way, just clicking on this stupid video is going to ruin my algorithm. Yeah, failure to imagine a better world, true. Completely incapable of imagining, like, other solutions. You just want to go back to riding horses? No. Reducing our carbon emissions doesn't involve us going back to the 1800s, bro. Relax. The average age of the comment section is like boomer age. Yep.
Carefully weigh the benefits and the negative side
True. I should have done that. Well, rip. Oh well.
effects. If the benefits of using fossil fuels outweigh the negative side effects, then we should keep using fossil fuels. If the negative side effects outweigh the benefits, then we should stop using fossil fuels as soon as possible.
Cool. Great. Excellent. We can stop the video right here because obviously, as actual data has pointed to us, the negatives of fossil fuels have outweighed the positives at this point in time for decades now. Great. Awesome video. 33 seconds in and we nailed it. We nailed it. All right. Good job, everybody. We can go home here. This is so silly because, like, even by his own argument, his own principle, if we actually applied like the facts of the matter, then we would come to the conclusion that using fossil fuels has more negatives than positives. So we should stop using fossil fuels as soon as possible, which is exactly what decades of science has told us. We need to stop. The sad part is that even the progressive media don't realize how fast the world is changing at the moment. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh man, I love PosadaBot. I leave for 2 days and all the fucking clowns decide to show up. I leave for 2 days and all the fucking clowns show up. What are the negatives? The negatives are our emission outputs are messing up the climate across the planet. They are rapidly warming and accelerating. It is rapidly warming and accelerating climate change, and because of the greenhouse gas. True, it's 420. And because of greenhouse gases, temperatures are rising, causing a whole bunch of problems, so on and so forth. Define progressive. All right, dude. Like, honestly, go find another channel. How about that? Another negative is air pollution, which has negative externalities because air pollution causes more health problems. So that's a massive negative. It also causes problems with the water. It poisons the water with all this runoff. It destroys ecosystems to try to in the areas that you have to drill for this oil, which causes a lot of problems. It could disrupt, like for example, in Alaska, it would fuck up the indigenous people's lands. It would fuck up their food. It would fuck up their water. I don't know if anybody's ever lived near one of these like drill like oil places, but like water can literally light on fire. That is not an exaggeration. You can look that up. I mean, so yeah, the negatives are vastly outweighing the positives here, especially when we already have technology that can produce energy for cheaper. And we don't need fossil fuels. Raise his hand. Grew up on a farm where they found oil nearby. Jeez. PosadaBot making me irrelevant? Nah, you gotta clean up what PosadaBot doesn't. Words are hard though. True. As soon as they started drilling, they effed up our well. Yep. So, yeah, I mean, like, to say that there's, like, Well, what are the negatives? Bro, did you take 5 seconds to fucking like... Okay, so to the fucking clowns in chat who are apparently showing up here bright and early, what was auto-modded there? The attempted censor at fucked. Apparently automod is like trying to, you know, keep it PG. I don't know. It was like, yep, I'm gonna automod effed up. That's what I'm gonna automod. Anywho, to the clowns in chat, I highly recommend that maybe, you know, before typing nonsense, maybe, it's a suggestion, before you look, before you hit send, maybe take 5 seconds, I don't know, and Google before you type, or just take 5 seconds and maybe say, I don't know enough about this subject, I'm gonna go investigate and then talk about it. How about that? Also, folks, I would like to address the previous conversation before we continue. So I don't think I did a good job effectively, like, trying to make the point that I was trying to do with the other person. I might have been drilling. No, it's effed up. Language, apparently. Automod is very adamant about language. So I'd like to address the last conversation about... so, like, the reason why I asked the chatter what policies that, you know, what policies that you liked from Ron DeSantis. And he posted two bills. The whole purpose of asking that question is to ask the follow-up question, which I never did, and I didn't appropriately manage that. But the whole point of asking that is to follow up with, okay, and how has that benefited Florida? What is the positive outcome that we can point to as to why those policies were necessary? What problems did they solve? Because the more you look into those policies, the more you realize, well, Googling would actually be doing research and not articles that relate to their cause. True, I should add an addendum to that. Hold on, stop. Before you're typing, if you, for the clowns in chat, before you start typing, yes, add a little asterisk to that. Please actually do like research and not like not do the whole like confirm your biases thing, please. Tax revenue got a city water and gas later though. Sheesh. Anywho, all right, let's go. PragerU, come on.
Which is it? It turns out that the benefits of fossil fuels far outweigh
Yes, they just searched to cherry pick things many times. Yep.
the negative side effects.
That's not true. Wait, that's not true. And first of all, what positives? Can we name a positive other than like, yeah, dude, it produces energy? Okay. But so do other renewable sources, and they're cheaper. A positive of what? Of fossil fuels. And like, they put this graph, hold on. I love how like they put this graph with like monumental positives that go off the screen. And like the 3 negatives of fossil fuels. And then like, don't proceed to list any of the positives of fossil fuel other than like what, cheap energy, I guess? Who knows? We'll see what they tell us.
The reason that most so-called experts, including many climate scientists, are against fossil fuels is that they violate this principle. They ignore the benefits of fossil fuels while overstating their negative side effects.
No. You're just saying that. You're literally just saying that. And so, yeah, thank you for pointing that out. And so-called, let me tell you about so-called scientists. Price is usually the reason. Yeah, but that's not a good argument anymore either. That's not a good argument. And like the graph on the screen is showing that it has like so much overwhelming positives that it has something the glaciers true. They have the positives going off screen, and they have what, 3 negatives, and then they try to make they try to say like, oh, so-called climate scientists, you know, the people who actually studied this shit, they overstate the negatives. Let me tell you about so-called experts. The person who's narrating this is Alex Epstein, okay? Alex Epstein isn't a climate scientist. His sole purpose in his career has been to advance the interests of fossil fuels. He literally wrote a book called The Moral Case for Fossil Fuels. Influenced by Ayn Rand and Thomas Sowell, so we can kind of just stop there. But anyways, his education is Bachelor of Arts in Philosophy. He isn't a climate scientist, so he should not be talking about any of this, or at least his words should not be taken as with authority. Okay? His words should not be taken with any authority whatsoever, because he's actually not a climate scientist at all. Not even close. Did they cite any studies that contain these supposed claims, with scientists collecting affirming these claims in detail true to their sources? I mean, it's like, no. No.
To know the truth about the benefits and side effects of fossil fuels, you need to understand 8 essential facts. Fact 1.
Essential facts. Okay.
Cost-effective energy is essential to human flourishing. This is almost never discussed, but no one can dispute it.
That's not true. We have discussed it. We have found newer, cheaper. Yeah, he's the founder of the Center for Industrial Progress, not a red flag at all. Yeah, which is a essentially like a think tank of some sorts to, again, advance the interests of fossil fuels. The fact that he just said that nobody talks about the cost effectiveness and how important it is to humans for energy producing is bullshit. We just literally named it. It was one of the first things that we talked about. Renewable energy, such as solar and wind, are cheaper. You want to talk about cost-effective energy? Talk to me about solar and wind.
Low-cost, reliable, versatile energy makes modern life possible. There's a simple reason for this. Energy powers the machines that allow us to be productive and prosperous.
At PragerU, he's their climate scientist. He can intellectually present their views in a way to sway the unenlightened to intelligently present their view. Yeah. I mean, he's a mouthpiece. That's it. He's not like, just to be clear, he's not any, in terms of like academic like authority, he has no academic authority on this whatsoever. So anything that he says about like fossil fuels or even climate change can be immediately disregarded. Just understand that. Like, what he's saying is basically opinion. That's it. You can take his word at their face only, but he is not an authoritative source at all. Just to be very clear, he's not a climate scientist or anything of the sort. He's literally like philosophy, computer science, and graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in Philosophy. That's it. That's it. So all of this is just pure opinion, okay?
From the combine harvesters that allow one farm worker to do the work of 1,000,
Changing air conditioners to heat pumps would cut our energies in half worldwide. Yep.
to the incubators that save the lives of millions of premature babies. Everything depends on energy.
But fossil fuel isn't energy. Fossil fuel is a source of energy, or fossil fuel can be energy, but it is not energy. It is not the only source of energy.
Thanks to the unprecedented availability of cost-effective energy, overwhelmingly fossil fuel energy, the world has never been a better place for human life.
Fossil fuel is massively inefficient, true. Its character begins with baseless ideological assertions and then argues backwards. Its points already settled before he even glances at the science, which he then predictably misrepresents. Yep.
Life expectancy has risen sharply, and extreme...
But that's not causation. What does life expectancy have to do with fossil fuels? Why are we talking about life expectancy? What are you on about? What is it? What? What does it have to do with anything?
Poverty, those that earn less than $2 per day, has plummeted from 42%
What?
in 1980 to less than 10%.
Yes, dude. Fossil fuels. Hey, listen, folks. Apparently, according to PragerU, fossil fuels, not only did fossil fuels extend the life of humans, apparently, but they also eradicated poverty? Question mark?
Today. Fact 2. Billions of people are suffering and dying for lack of energy.
Okay, that's still not an argument for fossil fuels. That's actually an argument for countries to, actually make do on their commitments to provide more resources to these developing countries so that they can produce and have their own green energy. Energy production aided in those benefits, such they just happen to be fossil fuel energy sources but don't need to be. Exactly. Have you considered that maybe fossil fuels are base and renewables are cringe? True, I have considered it.
Most of us take cost-effective energy for granted, but much of the world doesn't have that luxury.
So the richest countries that are currently also happen to be the countries that are shouldering the responsibility for the climate crisis should also make do on their promises to provide funds to assist these developing nations so that they can, go as renewable as possible.
$3 billion individuals use less electricity.
If his argument was that developing countries should be exempt from cutting their emissions to the same degree we should, then yeah, I'd agree. Of course, fossil fuels are the answer to income inequality is the non sequitur of our time. Yeah, have you considered the economic system that is currently running the world?
Per year than a typical American refrigerator. Most of
Right, he wants to keep pumping and drilling because that's who he serves. That's literally who he serves. You can look it up. If we had developed thorium nuclear technology back in the 40s, we wouldn't need 8% of fossil fuel production we use today, and we would still have the same advancements in human technology. It's a what is it? Correlation does not equal causation, because it could have been through another source if we developed it. One can easily conduct a search on PubMed for countless articles linking fossil fuel pollution to numerous medical ailments like asthma, cardiac arrhythmias, mental disorders, etc. Yeah, of course, these pass off as negative externalities that we really don't talk about. And he initially started this video by saying, if we find that the negatives outweigh the positives, then we should stop using fossil fuels immediately. So, yeah. Developed countries are producing the vast majority of greenhouse gases. Exactly.
them must use wood and animal dung to heat their homes and cook their food. To flourish, these people need far more energy. Fact 3.
Okay, but that energy can come in any form. Why does it have to be fossil fuel? You said energy, not fossil fuel. These are not the same things. Whoa, shit.
Three, fossil fuels are uniquely cost effective.
They're not. They're not. They're uniquely cost effective in the sense that they get massive subsidies. Is he going to mention like the massive government subsidies that fossil fuels receive? Are we going to talk about that or no? We're just gonna ignore that fact. And furthermore, again, that's just flat out not true. Renewables are cheaper at this point.
80% of the world's energy comes from fossil fuels.
Wait, how does that prove that it's cost effective? Wait, we're just jumping from like cost effectiveness to then saying 80% of fossil fuel make up the what? Can we stay like on a point?
And fossil fuel use is still growing. The reason?
That's not a good thing.
Nothing else can provide billions of people in thousands of places with low-cost, reliable, versatile energy.
Not true at all, actually. Our renewable technology is more than capable. Especially now with like battery technology going like exponential, like the way we have battery systems, the way our solar has advanced, our solar and wind technology has advanced. I mean, there's just literally no excuse.
Unreliable solar and wind can't come close. They only provide
That's true.
electricity, which is just 1/5 of the world's energy use.
They only provide electricity? What do you think fossil fuels are for? What? This dude also pretends like batteries don't exist. This dude's pretending like batteries just simply don't exist. Okay, cool.
And because solar and wind can go to near zero at any time, they depend on 24/7 backup from reliable power plants, usually powered by fossil fuels. Fact 4.
Or maybe they don't have to be.
Fossil fuel energy neutral.
Batteries are also very bad. To a degree. The way the mining process, maybe. But they're certainly much better. They're certainly much better than fossil fuels, and technology is advancing so fast with batteries. And I mean, basically, once you reach the levels of like making closed loop systems, even like advancing to the point where we can have like closed loop systems where we can take batteries and recycle them and use them and repurpose them, and like the way batteries are made now are not the same as they were a while ago. I mean, it's just not persuasive at all to tell me that like, oh, batteries are bad. Yeah, dude, in certain instances, yeah, they do. They have their negatives. We know that. They're just not as bad as fossil fuels. Right, and batteries are 99% recoverable to make new batteries, right, which is the whole point of achieving like a closed loop system. Oh man, Voodoo, I would not challenge Maple. I would not challenge Maple with batteries because Maple knows their stuff when it comes to batteries. It's preferable to the alternative, and the tech is constantly improving. Yep, that's the point. That's exactly my argument. That's part of my argument. Damn, like I start fucking up a PragerU video and all these clowns come out of the woodwork. What's up? I start fucking up a PragerU video and all these clowns come out of the woodwork. Amazing. I didn't call you a clown. The making of solar panels is problematic and highly carcinogenic. I'll have to get back with you on that. Possibly. I just don't know. It's getting better, but also going to cause issues. Yes, fine. There may be issues with batteries. My point still stands. They are better to the alternative, and we can reach a closed loop system which makes all of that impact even less. And it's still better to the alternative. So, like, I don't understand. It's currently better than the alternative. Because, like, the alternative is unacceptable. To continue to, to continue business as usual is not an acceptable, path. I mean, unless, like, you're okay with all of this going to shit. I mean, like, it's that simple. The alternative is not a viable pathway. I'm not going to whip out my knowledge database on energy storage out of respect for ADT's channel. I mean, sometimes you gotta, you know? Last thing the Global South needs is more hydrocarbons, though. Can we agree on that? True.
Neutralizes climate danger. Climate disaster deaths are down 98% over the last century.
Because of fossil fuels? Hey, Heat, how's it going? Happy 420. Or is it maybe because we have, like, more technology? Is it maybe because we have more technology that allows us to, like, I don't know, sometimes we have early warning systems that allow us to, like, properly coordinate evacuations? Maybe the way we make buildings and structures are different? From you know, the fucking, like, 1900s? Just carrier pigeons, true. What is this even supposed to mean? How is this, like, an argument for fossil fuels? How is this an argument for fossil fuels? What does this have to do with anything?
How did this happen? Much of the credit goes to fossil fuels.
Oh, damn, dude. Wow, amazing.
They power the machinery
Wait, are we gonna get a reason why?
that helps us construct sturdy buildings, the heating and air conditioning systems that protect us from extreme temperatures.
But wait. Hold on. Why do we need to construct heating and air conditioning systems that keep, you know, our house habitable? Why do we need to do that? That's very interesting. And second of all, Heat's right. We don't have to power these things with fossil fuels. They're not tied to fossil fuels. I can literally take care of my entire lawn, and I do, with 0 fossil fuels. 0. I cut my grass. I do the little weed whacking. I do, like, the trimming. And not once did I need fossil fuels for that. Interesting. It's not something that we can be done away with, not at least yet. Well, we have not much of a choice but to aggressively begin to move in that direction. Like, basically, so, like, your attitude, honestly, your attitude is basically telling me that we should just throw our hands up in the air, business as usual, because, like, fuck it, right? Like, bro, we can't do anything about it, right? Like, essentially what you're saying is we should just throw our hands up in the air or not. Like, what's the point of making a statement like that? It's not something, no shit, so we should have done that decades ago. Like, what was the point of that comment? You do what needs to be done? Cool. Amazing. Yeah, that's what we've been arguing for this entire time. The problem is we've been arguing about this for decades. Now we've come to a crossroads where we have to make aggressive measures. Does that make sense? And renewables aren't covering. So again, what is your point of making that comment? Other than so then we should make more renewables, right? Right? So then we should make, so then what you're saying is we should make more renewables. Right? The government, feels the same way, not worse. Drill, baby, drill. True. What if we aggressively, exactly, yeah, we have no choice at this point. 10 years ago, 20 years ago, that's not true at all. So again, so basically in your worldview, we should just do nothing. Cool, thanks, very helpful.
And the irrigation
Amazing.
and transportation systems that alleviate drought. Fact 5. Global warming has been mild and manageable.
Oh, dude, love it. Amazing. Sweet. Global warming has been mild and manageable. Have you seen the fucking like shit that has been going down? Amazing. Amazing. Not at all. Don't jump to conclusions. I mean, that's the only logic that you're giving me here. We shouldn't, because I already asked you. You said that currently they're not. Currently, renewables aren't covering the entire world's needs. So I answered that by asking you. So then we should push for more renewables. To which your response was, "Oh, they just take up space." For what you get. Sorry, we can't just. Sorry. This is not helpful at all. Unchecked climate change will sacrifice billions. Voodoo, obviously the system has to be improved, but hydroelectric, geothermal, and solar and wind are already in operation. Yeah, no, this is just propaganda heat. I mean, it's PragerU. This is just propaganda. Which is why the planetary average temperature has increased more in the last 200 years than the previous 40,000 years. Exactly. Hold on, I owe somebody a dab. 1 second, folks. This is important. There you go. I have dabbed. The dabbed has been done. Called it. Yeah, good memes.
While we're told that the warming we've experienced,
Have you studied it? Yes. You know that they've added a battery to set up to Austria that is not anywhere near enough. The money just doesn't come from the... What are you talking about? What is this in reference to? What is this in reference to? The fact of the matter is, we do have technology right now available to us. We have a lot of cheap technology, from constantly improving battery technology that could be done in a closed loop system, that could potentially assist with renewables, and is getting vastly cheaper. Batteries are getting more and more capable of holding large storage. I mean, like, I don't know, dude. He's talking about the mega packs that Elon donated to Australia. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. You know what? Climate change can't be addressed because Elon did one project that wasn't enough. So therefore we just had to scrap the whole idea. Cool, dude. Sweet. Nice. It's like, honestly, dude, like, that kind of attitude is absolutely, like, useless here. Because, like, again, I ask you, you literally said they won't cover enough of our use. So then the argument becomes we should be expanding our uses of fossil fuel of renewables, since they're cheap, available, and constantly improving. And your answer is that they take up space, which they don't. You're just putting up excuse after excuse, roadblock after roadblock. So the only natural conclusion that we draw from this is that we do nothing. True, dude. Fuck off. Not listening. Anyways, the point being is that if your attitude to like attempting to find solutions to the problem is by continually putting up more and more roadblocks, ultimately the only thing I can gather from that is that you actually don't want to solve the problem. Does that make sense? So why am I having a conversation with a fucking wall? That simple. I'm telling you. I start fucking like dunking on these PragerU videos and all these fucking people come out of the woodwork. It's amazing.
Is rapid and overwhelming, the world has warmed just 1 degree Celsius, 2 degrees Fahrenheit, since widespread fossil fuel use and
What? Buddy, we're on track for what? Almost 2.3 if we don't do anything? If we get to manage and do the things that we need to do and reduce fossil fuel usage, we can potentially get it under 2 degrees. And just to also kind of like put an asterisk to that, even like 1 degree, 1.5 degrees is a lot, okay? It is a lot. He's trying to make it seem like, oh, well, it's just 2 degrees Fahrenheit. You know, like one day you go outside and it's 78, and then the other day you go outside and it's 80. You barely feel the difference, right? Nah. It's very it matters. It matters a lot. 2.2 to 2.3. Okay, cool. I remember it correctly. See, I still got it a little bit. That's massive. That is huge. That is huge. Right, and then one day it's 116 and it's never been 116. Also restricting it to 1.5 is now a fairy tale pipe dream. Yep. Which is why you see a lot of climate scientists not even refer to the 1.5. I've been noticing that trend in a lot of like in a lot of climate articles. They aren't even really talking about the 1.5. They're trying to talk about 2 degrees Celsius. Okay? And again, this guy's like, oh, it's just 1 degree, or it's just 2 degrees Fahrenheit. That is huge because one more of those could potentially tip off, could potentially start the one domino effect, which is a tipping point. And if a tipping point goes, there's no turning back from that. There's no turning back from that. And we don't quite understand just how bad those ramifications are going to be. So that's why they're being incredibly adamant, or we're incredibly adamant about that 1.5. That's why that number mattered, because they wanted to be as safe as possible, so that those tipping points weren't reached or weren't in danger of being reached. But crossing that 1.5, then it becomes more and more possible that it does. And then after those tipping points go, we can't really go back from that, because they're like dominoes. Once the first one falls, they all start falling, and you can't really like stop that. Anyways.
CO2 emissions began
this is
in the
fucking
1800s.
This is fucking clown logic. 2 degrees will melt the Antarctic in 100 years. In less than 100 years. Yeah, which is like a blink of an eye in like the scope of things. In the grand scope of things, that is literally like what, a generation? Like your kids. That's it.
And because CO2 is actually plant food.
Oh, dude, fuck. Amazing. I love it. Holy shit. I love it. We're going to actually make the argument that actually more abundance of CO2 is actually good because it's good for the plants. This is some fucking like, oh God, this is some fucking like completely turned around, twisted fact that you learn in like grade school about how like CO2 works. Yeah, dude, of course, plants use CO2. That doesn't mean that the more CO2 there is, the better it is for the plants. And furthermore, It's irrelevant because if there's so much CO2, it's still trapping heat. That's the problem. As we're deforesting forests all over the world, true. Yes, it's plant food, but we need to stop killing all the plants. True. That's also a good point. Deforestation rates are massive. But we're not going to talk about that, are we? And the point still stands. This has nothing to do with the argument. An abundance of CO2 maybe, yeah, it's plant food. However, if there's an abundance of CO2 that's trapping up heat, that's causing all these problems, all of that is irrelevant.
More CO2 has led to significant global greening.
That
That means
dude.
more trees, more
Amazing.
plants.
I think we all need to go to electric so we can let these WFE stooges continue to travel around the world in their private jets. Yeah, cool, dude. We shouldn't do anything because billionaire oligarchs get to travel. Fuck off. Cool, dude.
More food. Fact 6. Warmer temperatures will save lives.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Well, the-
Warmer temperatures will save lives. Dude, tell to the people who literally fucking died in like the massive heat waves because they were exacerbated by climate change. Yeah, dude. Cool. Warmer temperature will save lives. Nice meme.
Media portray a future devastated by heat-related death.
Yes, because it literally happened. Hold on. Three fucking days ago. "13 people die of heat stroke in India after attending government award ceremony." 3 days ago. A day after this was released. Ah, come on, shit. Okay.
The world needs more northern latitudes at colder times. Warmer temperatures will save lives. While the media portray a future devastated by heat-related death, the truth is that
a future of heat-related deaths. Literally a day. All the super hurricanes and typhoons, thousand-year floodings, yeah, saving all kinds of lives. True. Exactly. There you go. That's the meme. That's the meme. Excellent job. Coming from the same people who frown upon immigration, there's going to be so many climate refugees. Yep. And as soon as that starts to happen, these people turn into, boom, eco-fascists immediately.
far more people die from cold than from heat. Further, mainstream climate science says
What? Oh, man. Amazing.
that warming will be concentrated in colder places, northern latitudes, at colder times.
Yes, because the colder, like the polar, the Arctic and all that other, those cold areas are getting warmer at a higher rate. That's what they mean. That's what they're talking about. Places like Antarctica are heating up at faster rates. Yeah, no shit. And do you know what happens when those cold places get warm? What do you think happens to the fucking ice, dude? What do you think happens to the ice? And what do you think happens to the water once that ice is melted? Where does it go, my dude? Where does it go? The ocean. Which is why Southern California got record snow this year. True.
At night, and during colder seasons. This is good news. It means fewer people will die from cold in the coldest places. Fact 7. The greenhouse effect is a diminishing phenomenon. As we're so often told, the greenhouse effect means that the more CO2 in the atmosphere, the warmer the climate.
Yes, that's literally how it works. That's how a greenhouse works. That's why it's called the greenhouse effect. I learned this in grade school. This has to be purposeful. This has to be purposeful. I literally learned this in grade school. And first of all, we're not even considering. We're not even factoring in. We're not even factoring in methane. Also, we stopped using CFCs. True.
But that's not the full story. As CO2 levels rise, warming slows down and levels off.
How?
This is mainstream climate science, but it's rarely communicated to the general public.
Wait, what? What source? Where are you getting this information? This is not mainstream science. The more CO2 and emissions there are, the more exacerbated the warming is. No shit. Like, where's this? Are we going to get a source to that? No, we're not. No, we're not.
Because it contradicts the climate catastrophe narrative. Fact 8.
Wait. We didn't get a source for that. That was a very strong claim against, like, basically, like, all the knowledge that we have on the way, like, the greenhouse gas effect works, or the greenhouse effect works. That goes completely against all the greenhouse effect that goes against all that we've learned on how the greenhouse effect works. We're not going to get a source on that? Has PragerU ever provided a source for anything? No. Loading blankets on your bed equals cooler sleep. True. That's how it works. How's it going, the simulacra?
Climate impacts can be managed with fossil fuels.
Oh, yeah,
The
dude.
most plausible threat.
True, dude. You know what? I got the solution. One of the main drivers of the climate crisis is going to be also one of the main solutions to the climate crisis. True, dude. Amazing. Just crank the AC. Exactly. Just crank the AC. Stay inside. Climate change doesn't exist.
Of a warming.
They don't need sources. What was said earlier would just be their bias. Yeah.
Climate is a rapid rise in sea levels because our coastal infrastructure was built around modern sea levels. But even
What? My brother in Christ. Why are the sea levels rising at a very worrying rate? Why do you think that's happening? How do you think that's happening? Earlier, you said that it was good that the colder areas, like the Arctic, is warming at a faster rate. What do you think is happening, my brother in Christ? You have 54 seconds. Are you going to explain how sea level rise is rising at a very alarming rate? Are we going to get into the how? This evil elf could tell me water is good for you and I'd be skeptical. I mean, yeah, like, so as I said from the beginning, I already had this like queued up. But this guy isn't a climate scientist. He's a fucking philosopher. He was a writer for the Ayn Rand Institute, okay? Yeah. So, I kind of like made sure that people understood like where this is coming from. All of this is opinion. Just to let you know, all of this is opinion because this guy has absolutely no authority on the climate science at all. And just to be clear, just to be very clear, neither do I. That's why I simply just go like this and defer it to the experts. That's it. It's very simple. I am just simply citing what is currently the consensus as to what we found based on decades of work from the professionals, from the people who actually know what they're talking about, and that's their field. I happen to know one too. But I am not claiming authority on any of this. Just to be very clear, I am not any type of science expert, climate science expert at all. Yes. No, he doesn't have a bachelor's in computer science. He studied it. He graduated with a BA in philosophy. I'm probably just as qualified to speak on climate change. I mean, like, so am I. The difference is I'm not pretending to be any type of authoritative figure whatsoever, nor am I trying to misrepresent the, the consensus of decades of people's work. That's the difference. That's the difference.
Extreme UN projections put that rise at 3 feet over the next 100 years.
Which is massive, by the way. Fort Lauderdale? I don't know if you've seen the videos in South Florida. I don't know if you've seen the videos in South Florida of how Fort Lauderdale was. But that was 24 inches. That was about 24 inches, maybe more. You mean New Venice? Exactly. 3 feet where it will rise more near the equator. Yeah, I mean, like, we're trying to work with what we got. Okay, this is a PragerU video, but I think what they're trying to cite is like a average. I think what they're trying to cite is an average. Who knows? These people never put any fucking sources to like look at. I have 2 computer science degrees. I'm a writer now, so there you go.
That's hardly something to panic over. A good part of the Netherlands is below sea level, including its international airport. The technology the Dutch use to keep the sea at bay is available to any country that needs it. Let's return to...
Yeah, dude. Listen, business as usual, folks. All we need to do is build a seawall. We'll be all right. Try 37 feet over the next 100 years. Jesus Christ.
To our original principle. Carefully weigh the benefits and the negative side effects.
Yeah, we did. There's plenty of negatives to fossil fuels, and then also kind of like downstream of like negative externalities, which we're not even getting into like the whole health effects, the water and all that stuff. But yeah, all of that in aggregate, at this point in time where we're at, yeah, the negatives vastly outweigh the positives. I mean, like, the use of fossil fuels is done. Like, we don't need it anymore, technically.
If we do this for fossil fuels, the balance is incredibly positive.
No, it's not. You just made that up. Meanwhile, naval bases are renovating their docks to accommodate sea level rise. Yep. And it's glacial melt and water expansion due to it being warmer. Gotcha.
So do what you would do if fossil fuels were a prescription drug. Take the pill. I'm Alex Epstein.
What? No, bro. I'm good. Hard pass on that one. Jesus Christ. Yeah, dude. Wait, weren't these people like against like medicine? Anyways, whatever. This analogy is like cringy. So yeah, dude, like it obviously the positives outweigh the negatives, so like take the pill. No, dude, no thank you. No thank you. I don't like, poor air quality. I don't like my lungs getting fucked up. I don't like my water being fucking flammable. No, hard pass, dude. No thank you.
Stein, author of Fossil Future for Prager University.
Thank you for
My God. Jesus Christ. Whew. Oh boy. That was... Well, we're all less smart for watching it. Thank you. Thank you, PragerU. I have a fine arts degree, but you never know. I studied chemistry, business, computer science, and library science. I'm probably a case of ADHD. Can we present him the reward I sent him? All right, here. Congratulations, Mr. Alex Epstein. Congratulations. Nice. This is very good. I'm gonna put this in chat because Holy City just sent me this. This is for everybody. If you want like a thorough like PragerU debunking, just kind of hit this playlist over here. Good memes. All right. I really dislike Dennis. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So to finish off, the Beanie himself, quote, Greta is one of the most widely cited climate scientists. I hope you all enjoy that playlist. I've been working on it for a while. This is a good playlist. I heard Dennis say all the stuff he'd do if he didn't think God would punish him for it. Yep. This actually looks like a bit like my grandfather. Oof. Is this satire? Is he being sarcastic? Sorry, is this sarcasm? Greta is one of the most widely cited climate scientists with 0 years in the field and staggering 0 degrees and diplomas beyond grade school. Greta has taken the world by storm with their cursory knowledge. This came from Google. Tim Pool, everybody. And rhetoric overheard from activists yelling in the street. What? Is this like a real tweet? Is he being sarcastic? Because like my response is like, yo, she's what are you on about? She's not a scientist, nor has she ever claimed to be a scientist. She's a climate activist. She's advocating for people to listen to the science. That's it. You don't have to listen to her. She's not asking you to. She's asking you to listen to the science. That's it. She's asking you to listen to the climate scientists. Yeah, she's an advocate. Yeah, exactly. She's never claimed to be a scientist. Dude setting up a straw man. Yeah, literally fighting with words that were never said. He liked his own comment. Did he? Did he like his own comment? I don't know. But it's Tim Pool, so yeah. I was talking about you. Yeah, I'm reading a response that I made. Wait, are you incapable of following? I'm reading a response that I made to Tim Pool. I'm literally reading my own response. Because I found this so egregious that I had to talk about it. That's it. Anyways, what confused me about this entire thing is that her speech had nothing to do with anything that he said in this tweet whatsoever.
Where a football game or a film gala gets more media attention than the biggest crisis humanity has ever faced. Where celebrities, film and pop stars who have stood up against all injustices will not stand up for the environment and for climate justice, because that would inflict on their right to fly around the world, visiting their favorite restaurants, beaches and yoga retreats.
This comes across as haters gonna hate tweet. Who, Pim Tool? And like some of the oh god, the other person who like commented was earlier in the chat was saying that like, oh, while the WEF rides around in private airplanes or whatever, yeah, dude, that's a problem, and she's calling that out here. So, like, this has nothing to do with the tweet. Hello, kitty. Come on, Vaquita. Anyways, good memes. Alright. I posted this one because I needed to remind myself to talk about this. We found another groomer, folks. And take a wild guess. Yep. It's a far right activist, Alexander Ali, who was one of the big election denial kind of deals. Yeah. And the thing is, conservatives knew this since 2015. Republicans are groomers. Yep. I found another groomer. Look at that. I stepped away. What did I miss? We're going over the latest groomer that we found. And lo and behold, it's a Republican. Damn. Stop the Steal organizer apologizes after being accused of asking teen boys for dick pics. Quote, I apologize for any inappropriate messages sent over the years. So, yeah. FBI? FBI? What's up? A key figure in the pro-Trump Stop the Steal campaign has apologized after being accused of asking teenage boys for sexual pictures. You know what would happen under any normal circumstances? This person would be in jail. Ali Alexander has become one of the most ubiquitous figures in the MAGA movement. True, Trump himself reportedly requested that Alexander speak at his rally before the riot insurrection, which his appearance only squashed by a last-minute intervention from Trump's aides. But this week, Alexander stands at the center of a scandal that raises questions about how powerful men in the far right treat their younger acolytes. Quote, this is too gay, said Alexander in a statement issued Friday that addressed the allegations in broad terms. Alexander has described himself as bisexual in the past, as he was battling with the same-sex attraction. Battling. Wow. Okay. Bro. If you're gay, there's nothing wrong with being gay. Being gay is not an issue. But you hanging out and you being a part of the far right is like relinquishing agency of who you are. Anyways, The budding online scandals rolled the pro-Trump and white supremacist America First movement just months after it reached new levels of notoriety after its leader, Nick Fuentes, Nazi, not just like Nick Fuentes, neo-Nazi Nick Fuentes, dined with Trump, the former president and rapper, and, you know, I like Hitler, Kanye West, is now at Mar-a-Lago. Fuentes is facing backlash from his own supporters over whether he ignored the warnings that Alexander, his friend and ally, was allegedly soliciting nude pics from young men within Fuentes' movement. Again, the problem here is going after underage people. Okay? Young men. Yeah, 15, dude. Okay. On Friday night, Alexander was questioned by the January 6th committee about his role organizing a canceled rally dubbed the Wild Protest outside the Capitol, which drew crowds to the building right before the insurrection began, and issued a statement Friday offering a general apology. I mean, this seems like an admission. I apologize for any inappropriate messages sent over the years. When I've flirted or others have flirted with me, I've flexed my credentials or dropped my corny pickup lines. Oftentimes I've been careless and should have qualified those with coming up to me identities during flirtatious banter at the start. Being seen as gay to the Republican base is a problem for those who seek right-wing supported power. Yep. Alexander didn't respond to requests for comment from the Daily Beast. In his statement, he claimed to have also been targeted by false accusations and edited screenshots of his message. Whoa! But declined opportunities to point out which accusers or screenshots aren't legitimate. Rumors about Alexander's alleged sexual behavior towards younger... If they're 15, bro, they're not young men. They're boys. Have circulated in conservative online circles since 2015, but they reached new levels after late last month after Milo Yiannopoulos, another Nazi, controversial British provocateur, Nazi, turned on Alexander after Alexander and Fuentes pushed him out of a potentially lucrative position in West's nascent presidential campaign. Yiannopoulos started releasing video interviews and other evidence meant to prove that Alexander sexually prepositioned both adult men in their 20s, no problem, and at least two teenagers, massive problem, FBI problem. In 2017, after remarks he had made downplaying the seriousness of pedophilia surfaced, claims he has more damaging videos to release about Alexander and Fuentes. Yiannopoulos claims that he's releasing the video against Alexander because Alexander dropped Yiannopoulos' name to entice young men. One screenshot purports to show Alexander dangling the prospect of a meeting with Yiannopoulos to a teenage boy. Yeah. Yikes. In 2017, Aiden Duncan, a 15-year-old boy in Colorado, is interested in right-wing politics and Alexander nude pictures. FBI, interested in right-wing politics. Nude pictures after the activist asked him for them, according to an account Duncan gave in March of 2023. Yeah. Yeah. You okay, kitty? So, surprise, surprise. And someone pointed out here. Yeah, underage men. Yeah. The way this is framed, shame on the Daily Beast for even, like, writing it the way they did. Shame on them. Underage men? What are you talking about? Young men? No, bro. They're 15. And conservatives knew about this. Watch ING Gorka. MAGA videos are funny. No, I don't want to listen to Sebastian Gorka. And conservatives knew about this since 2015. That's almost what, like 8 years? Yeah, 8 years. They knew about this. Yep. Cool. All right, folks. We have a couple of articles to go through. This one's going to be fast. Hello? Oh, there we are. Supreme Court extends access to the abortion pill to Friday. So, yeah, it's been delayed. The Supreme Court is leaving women's access to widely used abortion pill untouched until at least Friday, which will, while the justices consider whether to allow restrictions on the drug mifepristone to take effect. So there is going to be a ruling that's going to come out tomorrow. That's basically the only update when with this case that we've been following. If you guys have been hanging out here long enough, we've been following this case. So that's the update. Tomorrow they'll make a decision, I guess. We're going to go over this one kind of fast. Senate Democrats eye hearing on Clarence Thomas as Republicans shrug off gift revelations. They don't care. Key Senate Democrats are considering a hearing about Supreme Court ethics in the wake of revelations that Justice Thomas received previously undisclosed gifts and luxury travel from billionaire Republican donor Harlan Crow. Last-minute bribe and deals to be made. Yep. Senate Majority Whip Dick Durbin, the chair of the Judiciary Committee, said 20 years of gift of travel on yachts and chartered planes was outrageous. He added that the failure to disclose Crow's real estate deals and his reported purchase of Thomas' mother's home was beyond anything I could imagine at the Supreme Court level. Yeah, well, dude, I don't know, man. Maybe you should take this shit seriously. People have been talking about the illegitimacy of the Supreme Court for years now. And the fact that when the Democrats had the House and Senate, the fact that the Democrats had the House and Senate and didn't even think about passing or making rules or ethics for the Supreme Court is ludicrous to me. The fact that every other level of the judiciary has rules of ethics that they go by, and the Supreme Court doesn't, is ludicrous. Ludicrous to me. I will say this. You guys can't see her, but Vaquita is having the time of her life doing the news. It's not get a broader imagination. True. It's not clear when the hearing will take place or what the scope will be. Durbin said he has a number of things in mind where he's discussing with committee members, but he was pessimistic about getting Thomas to testify. Of course, I would like to, but I don't think it's going to happen. We're going to discuss the agenda and the program. Whatever, dude. The Democratic aide noted that issuing a subpoena would require a majority vote by the committee, which the party doesn't have because... That's right. Dianne Feinstein is out indefinitely on medical leave, so that option is out of the question. She needs to fucking resign. What is this? She needs to fucking resign and take a early retirement. This is fucking unbelievable and irresponsible. Or I should say, unbelievably irresponsible. Cool. Thanks, Dianne Feinstein. Cool. Yes, give up the seat. Retire early. Durbin said Democrats are putting the onus on Chief Justice John Roberts to accept the responsibility of the court to investigate Thomas's conduct and make a change in approach on ethics. Quote, every other federal judge in America except for the nine Supreme Court is bound by an ethical standard which is important. He said, adding that members of Congress are bound by much higher ethical standards than the justices are. Well, yeah, of course, because there are no standards. The justices have no standards. They aren't governed by that. Republicans on the committee shrugged off the Thomas news. Early retirement, yeah, at 89. No, I mean, like, she's not gonna run again, which... If she would have decided to run again, I would have, like, lost my shit. The libs value status over human lives. I mean, clearly, like, something so simple and, like, obvious strategically. And we can't, the Democrats can't even manage that. She'd not have run, but her family wanted that insider trading information. You know, it wouldn't surprise me. Not that we can, like, confirm or anything like that, but it wouldn't surprise me. Republicans on the committee said they shrugged off the Thomas news at first reported by ProPublica, saying it was a big deal. Of course not. Of course they say it's not a big deal because they're the ones that did it. It was a Republican mega donor. Of course they're going to act this way. She didn't even remember she's saying she was retiring. Exactly. Let the younger generation get their hands on power so we can start to right the proverbial ship. Yep. He's going to have to amend his financial disclosures, said John Kennedy. It's not unusual to have to file an amended form. Yeah, dude, it's not listen, bro. It's not unusual to file an amended form. 14 years later, bro? 14... dude, you know what? You're right. Next time I do my taxes, I'll forget something and then I'll file it 14 years later and it'll be all right. I feel you, Echo Resto Dragon. I agree. She's the second most wealthy senator with 90 million. 5 million invested. Jesus. He's going to have to amend his financial disclosures. It's not unusual to have a file amended form. One of the allegations is he didn't disclose $35,000 from the sale of his family home to Harlan Crow, so you have to file an amendment on that. 14 years later, and he only did it because he was called out on it, my dude. True, Simalaka. Into account who said that? John Kennedy. Yeah, also true. Asked whether he was concerned about the ethics of the situation, Kennedy said, no, it happens all the time. Oh, yeah, dude, you know, the thing about, like, the whole entire, like, corruption scandal? Dude, I'm not concerned. This shit is normal. What? How is that better? What's that meme? Like, oh, this is worse. You do know that this is worse, right? Zeoduke with a tier 1 sub, 25 months. It happened again? What happened again? Twitch ate your badge? No, I see it. I see the badge. I see it now. He's got the black badge, which is definitely more than 12. A month went by, I guess? Yeah. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. How are you? I'm hanging in there. Like... Yeah, dude. Are you concerned about, like, the possibility of, like, corruption of the highest order in the Supreme Court? No. It happens all the time. This is, like, the meme that comes to mind. Yet, justices like senators, like reporters, are entitled to have friends. No, the problem isn't having friends. The problem isn't having friends. The problem is those friends continue to give, luxury vacations and gifts that are not being reported. That's the problem. And it just so happens that said friend is a mega donor to the party that got you where you are, part of it. And that it also so happens to be that in those vacations and all those, fancy places, you also just happen to be in proximity of the people that you may or may not come into contact with in the courts. It's a long-standing friendship that happened to start 5 years after he became a SCOTUS justice. True. The 9 justices have somewhere between $24 and $68 million. They can't really tell exactly. Yikes. They're so comfy up there in the Supreme Court. Yep. Senator John Cornyn of Texas said the Judiciary Committee, which he sits on, doesn't need to investigate Thomas. Nope, no problem here, folks. Everything's fine. Everything's normal, according to John Kennedy. This is just how it is. The judiciary is an independent branch of government, and they have their own rules, and I trust they will be handled by the Supreme Court and by the judiciary. The problem is, no, there are no ethics, and clearly, corruption is fine. The senators who accept hospitality on a personal basis do not necessarily disclose that, but I'm for people following the rules. So, wait a minute. You're just saying that, it's not just accepting hospitality, my dude. It's not just accepting hospitality. He didn't have, a fucking sleepover, and, that was the end of the story, dude. He didn't go over and have, a dinner at his house. And the fact that you're tacitly admitting that senators do this too is wild to me. Asked about Tuesday about Thomas, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said the court can handle the issue itself. Cool, dude. So nothing. Corruption of the highest order, A-okay by the Republicans. ADT, they are following their own code of ethics. The code of ethics is highly immoral. Oh, true. You're right. The Supreme Court and the court system is a whole separate part of our Constitution. I have total confidence in the Chief Justice of the U.S. to deal with the court's internal issues. So you're admitting that there is a problem? Is that what you're saying? An exception was Senator Mitt Romney, who said he finds the revelations problematic. If the reports are accurate, it stinks. Senator Sheldon White House laughed out loud when he was asked about the Republicans' argument. You know that he's a billionaire, right? He said of Crow. They know that he's politically active. They know that he's on the board of entities that actually filed the briefs in the Supreme Court. They know that he's contributed to groups that have helped pick right-wing judges, which is exactly what I was saying. This is a guy who's interested in the court, not a casual observer. There's a lot more going on when you mix a cocktail of right-wing billionaires, dark money, and amenable justices and the law. Yeah, there it is. Senator Chris Murphy said the series of revelations about Thomas really needs to be a red alert moment for our democracy. We fight over everything, but why on earth would you choose to fight over whether a Supreme Court justice can be paid on a regular basis by a party that caused constant interest before the court? This is black and white. This is kind of sad that we're fighting over this, and Republicans feel like they have to defend Justice Thomas' conduct. This is absolutely outrageous. Because they benefit. They all come from, the same donor. The billionaire oligarch is donating to the Republican Party. He's a massive backer. They have, no other prerogative here. Of course they're going to defend him. That being said, Chief Justice Roberts to testify in wake of the ethics scandal. The chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee on Thursday invited Supreme Court Justice John Roberts to testify next month before the panel about ethics reform on the court. The invitation to Roberts sent by Senator Dick Durbin for May's second appearance came in the wake of a series of revelations about Justice Thomas, yada, yada, yada. So we actually might hear from Chief Justice Thomas as to what the heck is going on. However, yeah, it's good, but we need to hear from Justice Thomas himself. Sorry, Roberts is going to testify. But really, we need to have answers on the record from Justice Thomas. That's who we need to be who needs to testify as well. Nonetheless, we'll follow up on this too. Will he actually talk? I don't know. All right, folks. A bit of a... What about Mr. Thomas, the insurrection? Mrs. Thomas. Yeah, Mrs. Thomas. That's right. Hey, I got a few questions for Mrs. Ginny Thomas. But yeah, we'll never see accountability for any of this. Doesn't seem like it. All right, folks. A bit of a content warning for the last story. We have an update on the case of the climate protester that was shot in Atlanta. We have a tiny bit of an update on that. So, content warning, it's a bit of a graphic story. So, Ginny Thomas is in her own Christian nationalist world. Yeah. Which a Supreme Court justice is also tied to. Which is wild to me that anybody would deny that there's no conflict of interest there. What, you think that, like, Ginny Thomas doesn't, like, share or talk about anything with her husband, and that, like, these ideas and don't influence what happens? Guinea is short for Virginia. The G is pronounced like J. And Jenny. Oh, Ginny? Oh, gotcha. Like a J. Huh. The more you know. Like Jen. Gotcha. Now that I can pronounce. That I understand. Jen. Gotcha. Ginny. Okay. All right, so content warning. Yeah, I'll be willing to bet Thomas met Harlan Crow as Ginny Thomas' family friend. Maybe, who knows? Protester of Cop City near Atlanta was shot by police at least 57 times. Yeah. A slain protester who opposed the construction of a vast law enforcement training center near Atlanta was shot at least 57 times during a police confrontation, an autopsy revealed. The wounds suffered by the protester were so extensive that Manuel Terán were so extensive that a loose round fell from the sleeve of one of the shirts as the coroners undressed the body for examination. The activist known as Tortuguito, whose full name is Manuel Esteban Paez Terán, shot multiple times during an altercation with law enforcement officials from different jurisdictions. The report was dated March 14th, but was only made widely available to the public this week. The proposed public training center was to include a shooting range in a mock city that will be used for police training, dubbed Cop City by opponents, and move protesters to its future site in a forested area of DeKalb County, outside of Atlanta. Multi-agency operations to clear out the encampment were conducted on January 18th. According to GBI, officers found Tortuguito in the tent and said the protester did not comply with law enforcement commands. Tortuguito allegedly shot and wounded a state trooper, and then officers opened fire. However, this is what they said. This is what the cops said. as we covered earlier, that is in dispute. The state trooper that was shot, there is a hypothesis that it was actually friendly fire, not the protester. Relatives and friends have insisted that Tortuguita had their hands raised and was not a threat to police, which, based on the autopsy, it seemed to prove the case, or it seemed to prove the hypothesis that they indeed had their hands up when they were shot. It was devastating to learn that our child, our sweet Manny, was mercilessly gunned down by police and suffered 57 bullet wounds all over their body. Tortuguita, identified as non-binary Newsday them pronouns, the family and its representatives said they still have too many unanswered questions about their loved one's violent death. We cannot even begin to determine what happened on the morning of January 18th until GBI releases its investigation. Like, this is horrifying. I thought the body camera implied that it was friendly fire. Yeah, that's a hypothesis that I presented because of that footage. And the fact that, like, their autopsy, the family's autopsy, seemed to suggest that they were on the ground in a sitting position with their hands up, seems to corroborate that idea. The Atlanta Police Department representative could not be immediately released for comment. A spokesperson for the GBI said Thursday that state authorities have completed their probe and referred all questions to the prosecutor appointed to the case, the Mountain Judicial Circuit DA, George Christian. The special prosecutor said Thursday it would be premature to discuss any findings and investigations, and didn't give a timeline on any decision to seek charges against law enforcement that opened fire on the protester. Wait, so that seems to imply that it's possible. The new autopsy info found no gunpowder residue on their hands. Yeah. What? That's new. That's not in this thing, right? Damn. That's even more evidence. That's even more evidence on the hypothesis of friendly fire. That is fucked up. And, like, the fact that these fucking pieces of shit decided to say, like, oh yeah, dude, they they opened fire, so we just had to light them up with 57 rounds. That's wild. Also, police non-compliance requires summary execution by firing squad, apparently. Yep. Apparently. Goetz report took no stance on that issue since most shootings involve multiple gunshots that are dynamic events. Attempts to place the decedent in any particular position at a specific point in time is fraught with potential inaccuracies. There are too many variables with respect to movement of the decedent and the shooters to draw definitive conclusions concerning Tehran's body's position. The medical examiner listed a protest cause of death of multiple gunshot wounds, manner of death homicide, which they try to clarify that this means homicide by person. Yeah, 57 gunshots. Whatever the initial police statement is, you can always take it to the bank that it's a lie. Yep. I called it when I first heard about this. There's no gunshot residue. Yeah, I didn't even see that on this. But if that's the case, that kind of, like, I mean, that's it, right? Like, that is the thing, because, like, the whole claim was that they shot first. That was the whole thing. And if there's no gunshot residue, then, like, you just executed somebody. The protester was deemed to be in good health, no pre-existing natural disease prior to the shooting. Among the devastating shots that likely killed the protester, one passed to Jesus Christ. I'm not even Jesus. Gunshots had, yes. Jesus Christ. Collectively, gunshots result in death, and therefore cause of death is designated as multiple gunshot wounds. However, the gunshot to the wound to the head would have been fatal by itself. Yeah. Citizen execution to avoid embarrassment of friendly fire admission. Yep. Wow. Well, I'm done with the news today. Honestly, so am I. Because that was the last one, and I saved it for that reason. Because that one's a bit that was a bit of a rough one. It breaks my heart. Yeah, it's fucked up. It's incredibly fucked up. And the fact that they had like the audacity to attempt to fucking say that, oh, you know, they shot first. Fuck you. Fuck all of these fucking ghouls. Have a safe 420? Oh yeah, it is 420. You're right. Ugh. Anyways. It is messed up. Watch a cute animal video. Oh shit. Both of you redeemed it. Well, can I offer you a cat? Can I offer you a cat instead? Jinx. Okay. I will offer you a cat instead. Hold on. Sharpie Diesel with a tier 1 sub for 4 months. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. There you go. There she is. A cute animal in Ira. Look at her. Look at her. She's got that same face as the emote right there. She got that same sassy face. What's the matter with you? You want to say hello? No? That's you on the screen. You're like, why are you using me for views? Yes, the don't turn back don't turn back on me later. Yeah. Easy, that's my arm. My cat Toby calls me mom. Ha! I'm sure I'll be hearing from her. Alright, she'll say goodbye. Right now she's looking at my headphones because they fell. There you go. I see it. You put Ellie's artwork on your set. Yeah, I said I would. Absolutely. I said it would become a permanent part of the set. And it's in a perfect little position right there. So that it's held up by the little crab. All right, folks, I got to get out of here. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Thank you so much for the subscriptions. Thank you so much for the biddies and the follows and all that awesome stuff. You guys are what makes this channel grow. Once again, folks, if you guys enjoy the content and haven't done so, please make sure you hit the follow button. Join us Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. If you guys want to support the channel and you can't do it monetarily, head on over to the YouTube channel. 227 of you now have hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. You guys are what makes this channel grow. As always, folks, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one, Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a great weekend, everybody. See ya. Peace. You rock. Keep it up. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Michael Hasser. Thank you, Heat, for keeping the peace in the chat. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See ya.